having a nice beginning of the week. And we are going to talk about Parashat Vayetzei. And I'm so happy because the Kollel actually, which is part of it is my husband, but this new book talks on the Parasha from Rabbi Steinsaltz. And it has absolutely amazing talks with all the humor of Rabbi Steinsaltz. So I really enjoyed learning for this year, and it's also some funny stuff I'll tell you as well. So we're learning about Parashat Vayetzei. I have a little page that I just have to find, obviously. Let's see. So we're going to learn about the personality of Yaakov Avinu. And like we always do, through him, we're going to learn about ourselves, hopefully, and learn about what are the things that are challenging us and how do we confront them and how do we see that they exist and how do we take care of these things. This is what we're going to learn today. And we're going to start by talking about who is Yaakov and what he's doing in our parasha. Vayetzei Yaakov meBe'er Sheva, Vayelech Haran. Yaakov left Be'er Sheva, and he set out for Haran. We remember why is he leaving? Because he is just having that. He just had that big fight with his brother, and he decided that he can't stay. And his mother also said he should go. So he's going to Haran, and there he is going to meet Lavan and everything that is going on outside of Israel, meeting his wives, and at the end, eventually going back to Israel. But right now, he's at the beginning of this journey. We could call it a journey. He is Yaakov, who we know from the beginning. It says about him that he is Yaakov Yoshev, Ish Yoshev Oalim. He is sitting in his tent, and he is just a very quiet person who needs, he's in his place. And Rashi here tells us, or the Talmud Bavli tells us, right? Yaakov was studying in the house of Ever for 14 years while in hiding from his brother Esav. Yaakov left after he completing his studying there, and then he went immediately to Haran. So meaning that he was in this bubble with his mother that really loves him, and he has everything that he wants, the food of his mom and the tent, meaning really the studying part. He was really in this bubble in Israel. And suddenly he's being asked to leave that bubble. And we all know what it feels to leave a bubble suddenly, to be thrown out outside of the bubble. In this case, it was very right. It was very drastic. Like he was supposed to go right away to a different place, and he was in shock. We could definitely say that he was in shock. Everything is very strange to him. He has never met really other people than in the tent of his parents and his grandparents. He has never been outside of his world. It's as if he was living really in a very closed place, studying Torah in his four walls, and he didn't really know what it is to be outside of this place. And very interestingly enough, we know also from the history of Yaakov, from the very birth of Yaakov, that he had a hard time to confront challenges. And I think I talked about it also last year in the Shiur, for whoever remember and was there. Yaakov was born, and already he was trying to catch the leg of his brother, and he was already called Yaakov, which is also mean crooked, twisted, right? Yaakov, he's trying to get his way through not really confronting the problems that he has, but really going around them. Afterwards, we know that when Yaakov got the blessings instead of his brother, it says in the Torah that at the second that he leaves, Esav enters the room, right? And then he says, what does that mean? What does that mean? How come they didn't meet? Why? Because Yaakov left from the side door. He left from the back door, I would even say. Like saying he left, he didn't want to see his brother. Obviously, he just did something that wouldn't really please his brother, but he didn't want to confront him. So he decided, I'm going to go through the back door and I'm not going to go and confront my brother. And even afterwards, when his brother wanted to kill him, the pitaron, the solution was, I'm running away. I'm not staying here. So every time that he had a struggle, he kind of went around it and he left. He was trying a different way to get to really go around it, like I said, but he'd never really confronted his problem. And as we know, this is not the qualities that we would see in a leader, or especially not for someone who would be a father of a big nation. So all these things must have changed in a way. So when he started this journey of leaving the land of Israel and eventually going to Haran, what he really had to work on was that issue of confronting problems. So we're going to go and see exactly what is going on throughout this journey and how he is going to come back at the end. And we'll see that he succeeded at the end to becoming something else. And that will really allow him to be that leader that we know today. But meanwhile, let's go and see what's going on here. So the first thing that he does after he leaves Israel, after he leaves his place, Vayetzei b'makom, he came upon a certain place and he stopped there for the night, for the sun had set, right? So he needs to sleep. Taking one of the stones of that place, he put it under his head and he lay down in that place. Okay, that's night comes and he is protecting himself. And Rashi is telling us he arranged them in the form of a drain pipe around his head, for he was afraid of wild beasts. And this we could also take and say, oh, okay, that means that Yaakov was frightened. He was very scared, not only of wild beasts, like it says in Rashi, but we could really see that he was in a place where, oh God, I don't know what to do now. Like, I'm protecting myself. I'm covering my head. It's that thing that we are doing when we are scared, when we don't know where to go, we don't know what to do, and we want to feel secure, and we don't. So that was really the place of Yaakov when he left his mom, when he left his dad, and he left his family, and he was on his way to Haran. And then he dreams a dream, and that dream was actually going to change a lot. And that will be the beginning of the process that Yaakov will go through. The dream, we all know it. ויחלום והנה סולם מוצב ארצה וראשו מגיע השמיימה והנה מלאכי אלוקים עולים ויורדים בו. He had a dream. The stairway was set on the ground and its top reached to the sky, and the angels of God were going up and down on it. And Rabbi Steinsaltz is saying here something beautiful. He's saying really that in that dream, the stairway was on the ground, meaning very close to Abraham Avinu, and the angels of God were going up and down on it, meaning that they had to go through Yaakov in order to go up again. Or every time they would go down and up, they had to go through Yaakov. And the rabbi is telling us here, it means that Yaakov was a transition point. He was the point in between the earth and the heaven. Suddenly, he understood that the heaven was not only on top, the earth was not only on the bottom, and there was always that movement going on, but not only that he was part of that movement. And he was kind of the gate that would lead to spirituality, that would lead to God. He was that gate, and suddenly he understood, wow, I'm not here for nothing. I have a mission. I have a mission in life, because if the angels are going up and down through me, It means that I have the power on earth to do stuff in order to reach Hashem, in order to bring spirituality in this world. In other words, he suddenly understood that his journey is not for nothing, that he has a job, that he is that transition point, and that we could say for every single person, for every single one of us. We are a transition point that through us goes the malachim olim veyordim. And in order to reach that, I need to understand that I am that transition point. And that is why maybe in the commentaries we see that the angels were very upset with Yaakov Avinu. Why were they upset? Because they were telling him, why are you sleeping? You have such an important job. You are that transition point, and still you are sleeping? And that was suddenly when he wakes up. It says when we, if we go back, sorry, I'm going to Sefaria, because I want to read in the Psukim, Ve'ine Hashem nisav alav, and he's talking to him, and he said Yaakov woke from his sleep and he said, surely Hashem is present in his place, and I did not know it. And he says, early in the morning, Yaakov took the stone that he had put under his bed and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it, meaning he says he rose up very early in the morning and he understands, okay, I have something to do. And he actually started doing sacrifices, and he understands that he has a part in this world, and that he can't just sleep. He can't just not, do whatever he wants. He has a job. He has something to do in this world. But still, he understood that, but he didn't really do anything about it until he actually arrives to Haran. And when he sees Rachel, look what he's telling her. He's actually not telling her, but he's doing something. Yaakov kissed Rachel and broke into tears. He actually cried when he saw Rachel. And why is he crying? Rashi is telling us. He wept because he came with empty hands. He thought, Eliezer, my grandfather's servant, had with him rings, bracelets, and all good things, while I have nothing with me. And the way I interpret it is that he's crying because he has no idea what life is all about. He is crying because he comes not only with empty hands, but with the empty tool bag for life. Like he has absolutely no idea how is it to confront a problem. What is it to live in a world with other people than you, that think differently than you, that are even evil. And sometimes they're even your own blood. And he sees Lavan and he's getting cheated time after time. And it's his own blood, it's his mother's brother. And this is when he is really at the beginning, he has nothing. But throughout the entire time that he lives with with Lavan, this is when he's going to learn about life. And he's going to learn of standing up for whatever is important for him. And even though he's cheated and he gets another wife, that he's going to work hard in order to have a second, to have the one that he really wanted. And even though people cheat him around him, he is trying his best to stay confident, not only spirituality, but he's also growing materially. He's getting rich. And he's finding his spot inside the world. Only when you are inside, I wouldn't say the evil, because it's not really the point. It's just only when you're inside a world of people thinking differently, then you can build your own identity. And he started building his identity. He started building who he is and keeping everything that he has from his father's house, but yet bringing it to his wife and to his wives and to his children, and having to care about his relationship also with his boss. And everything he did with that in mind, that he has now he has a goal in life, that he is that transition point and that he needs to get ready for what is awaiting him. After he actually is ready, then he decides that it's time to leave. It's time to leave after the birth of Yosef. He decides that he's going to leave. And he tells his uncle, okay, I have to go. At the end, he's doing it also in a kind of a twisted way, because Lavan doesn't let him do it. But he actually tried to talk to him, which is already a step further than the one we saw with Esav. He talked to him and he told him, I want to leave. At the end, he left not with a good, without telling him, but then Lavan goes with him and catches him at one point, and they talk. And they have that covenant and they have that plan that they put together. Or the plan is very well thought, and Yaakov is kind of really, he's being in that contract and he's really trying his best in order to make peace between him and his and Lavan. And the words that we see at the end, which is very interesting, the words at the end is that he's having a feast with his brother, Achiv, okay? Meaning that, wow, he got to a point where him and Lavan were like brothers. And Rashi is telling us this. I just want to show it to you because it's just very nice. And it's just going to take me a minute to find it. It's really at the end of the Parsha that when he's leaving, okay, and they have that covenant going on, and really at the end, Barach Yaakov, Yaakov had fled, he came back to him. And then at the end, Vayetzei, okay, here it is. ויזבח יעקב זבח בהר ויקרא לאחיו לאכול לחם. ויזבח יעקב. Yaakov offered a sacrifice of the height and invited his brother to partake of the meal. And if we see into the commentary and we go to Rashi, and we see his brother, where is it? Those of his friends who were with Lavan, and also Lavan himself, somewhere, maybe not Rashi or somewhere else, that really it means that they were really in good terms when he left. So it's already something very special. And then we have the whole story. I know it's already Vayishlach, but anyway, we don't have a shiur next week. So it's as if we're doing also Vayishlach. We're continuing through Vayishlach. And we are saying that now is, we're going to, it's a test. Is really Yaakov ready for, I wouldn't say a fight, but a confrontation between him and his brother. And the Torah tells us that he comes ready for the mifgash, for the pgisha, for the meeting with his brother. And he sends messengers ahead to his brother Esav in the land of Seir, the country of Edom, and instructed them as follows. Say, I stayed with Lavan and remained until now, which is also something that he's telling him, I went to Lavan's house and I stayed the same Yaakov as you know, meaning that spiritually I haven't changed, but really I am something very different, because now what I'm doing, I wasn't able to do 30 years ago when I left you. I am something else right now, and I am willing to talk to you. I am willing to find a way to communicate and to fix and to talk about these challenges. And he's saying, not only I am different because I am a lot richer, but also I am also different because I am able now to talk to you. And he prepared himself for three things: to give him a present for prayer and for war. So he is just ready for whatever options is going to be there. And he is at that time not trying. These three options, none one of them is fleeting away. Okay, not one option is, okay, I'm going away, I am running away. No, he's ready for confronting his brother and do whatever it takes to make peace, or at least to try to make peace with his brother. And then the final test. And that final test was going to switch the entire future of Yaakov, and who will switch our future as well. Because at that point, he's having that fight with the angel. Very, very, I would say, weird story in the Torah. Yaakov was left alone. How could it be? And a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn. And we know that it's not an ish. At the end, he's going to be an angel. And when he saw that he had not prevailed against him, he wrenches Yaakov's hip at his socket, but the socket of his hip was sprained. And then he said, "Let me go, for dawn is breaking." But he answered, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." Again, we have here a fight. We have here a confrontation. And Yaakov, I would say, wins. But even when he wins, he still wants that talking. He still wants that, wait, you can't go. You have to bless me. You have to give me something in return. And then Vayomer elav ma shimcha, Vayomer Yaakov, and he said, "I'm Yaakov." And the angel was telling him, "No, your name is not Yaakov anymore. You're not that twisted, crooked man or manners that you had. These you don't have anymore. So you're becoming something else. You're becoming Israel, for you have striven with being divine and human. Okay, im Elokim ve'im anashim. That you didn't prevail only on me, on the angel, but with people. You have shown that you really deserve these blessings, also that he took by cheating, I would say, at the beginning. But not only that, it's right now you have shown that you could be a leader because you confront and you know how to fix the problems that you're going through, and you have prevailed. And from that second, from that moment, at the moment that you have the name Israel, even though we know in the Torah both names are going to be used, Israel is really the name of our nation. Because only when he was Israel, only when he was given I would say, the diploma that he could confront problems and that he could fix whatever is going through his path and not running away, only then he could become not only the father of all his nations, of all his children, but also the father of us, of the nation of Israel. And he became the father of the nation of Israel. Yaakov, we use it when we still talk about the other side of Yaakov. But Israel is the new name that he actually really got, because he changed. When he returned to Eretz Israel after his journey, he was already a different person, and that is why his name even changed. And we couldn't call him anymore Yaakov, but we could call him Israel. We call Sarera, Sarita, im Elohim. You prevailed, you have striven with beings, and that is why you can come back and you can become the father of the Jewish nation. So I think there is a lot we could learn from us, for us. And I would say the most important part is the part of the ladder that we all are Yaakov in that case, that the ladder is going through us. And that at one point, when we have to take on that mission, it doesn't matter if it's a new journey about work, if it's a new journey about family, about whatever, any journey that we take on, anytime we step out of our comfort zone, zone. This is when we're really in shock, like Avraham Avinu and like Yaakov, and we try to protect ourselves, and we're so scared because we're taking that step that is so difficult for us to take. But let's remember, the first thing that Yaakov is doing is actually that dream, that he understands really that he has a mission. And in order to take that mission, he has to step out of his comfort zone. And he cannot stay within his four walls and within the same job or within the same house or within whatever it is that we have to take upon us, ourselves. And he understands that in order to go through into his mission in life, he has to take that step. And it's not an easy step. And I think we all have that thing that we're thinking and we're saying, oh my God, that's really not an easy step. But I have to do it because so and so, because that's my mission. And then afterwards, the journey can be very, very hard as well, but it teaches us a lot. And Yaakov himself, he's teaching us that even though he has fixed a lot of his, I would say, I wouldn't say failures, I would say like his weaknesses, he still has maintained his very high spiritual level. And this is, I think, our job every time we take on a journey. We have to know what is the things that we like in us and that we want to keep, and the things that we really want to change. And hopefully we'll come back one day and we'll say, oh, I am a different person. I kept a lot, like Abraham, like Yaakov said to his brother, I am the same one as you remember, but I am so different. And that is the journey that I wish we could all take in life without being hurt like Yaakov did, but at least with that feeling of I overcame something, I did something, I confronted my problems. And when I'm coming back, I'm going to be so happy from where the departure point that I was until where I am now when I arrive to the point that I really wanted to arrive. So that's really what I think we could learn from the Parsha. And hopefully, Bezrat Hashem, I hope we will all be able to one day do that step of stepping out of the comfort zone and eventually arrive to the place that we really want to arrive. That's it. In 2 weeks, there will not be a shiur. Hopefully, it will be in 3 weeks, the first night of Hanukkah, because there will be that same morning in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks from now, I have my son's first Aliyah Torah. The first, he's going to be bar mitzvah. So Bezrat Hashem, that won't be happening. But in 3 weeks, Bezrat Hashem, I will see you again.